Good morning, friends. Welcome to Eng-lane English classroom. Today, General Grade English, Unit 1, the Glimpses of Green, Lesson 1, Adventures in a Banyan Tree, Part 5, that is the last part. Find yes, you remember the story, don't you? We have watched a scene of an incredible fight between the cobra and the mongoose, haven't we? It was somewhat horrible and awesome, wasn't it? How was it? Though it was a fierce fight between the skillful cobra and a clever, aggressive mongoose. Now, it is there in our mind because that's a very fantastic scene. Now let us have something funny. Let us see something funny. It will be nice to read something funny after a horrible scene. Please look at the pictures. Here is a rat. Here is a squirrel. It's a female squirrel. Who are there? We have seen a squirrel and a rat. What may be the relation between them? You can guess. Right, friendship or something. Let us see. Here is a strange and fun relationship between them. Let us read the next part of the story and enjoy it. You don't forget to read with me. The banyan tree was also the setting for what we were to call the strange case of the grey squirrel and white rat. The white rat was grandfather's. He had bought it from the bazaar for 4 annas. But I would often take it with me into the roots and branches of the old tree. Banyan tree, where it soon struck up a friendship with one of the squirrels. They would go off together on little excursions among the branches. Then the squirrel started building a nest. At first she tried building it in my pocket, and when I went indoors and changed my clothes, I found straw and grass falling out. Then one day grandmother's knitting was missing. We hunted for it everywhere but without success. Next day I saw something gliding in the hole in the banyan tree. Going up to investigate, I saw that it was the end of grandmother's steel knitting needle. On looking further, I discovered that the hole was crammed with knitting, and amongst the wool were 3 baby squirrels, all of them white. Grandfather had never seen white squirrels before, and we gazed at them in wonder. We were puzzled for some time, but when I mentioned the white rat's frequent visits to the tree, Grandfather told me that the rat must be the father. Rats and squirrels were related to each other, he said, and so it was quite possible for them to have offspring. In this case, white squirrels. Okay, dears, I think you might have read with me. What are there in this paragraph? Now let us think of that. Who are the characters? A white rat and a grey squirrel. What is the relation between them? There was a strange relation between them. They became friends. Moreover, the squirrels gave birth to, according to our grandfather, gave birth to that rat's offspring. How is it described in the story? It is described as a strange case of the squirrel and the white rat. He says so. Why does he say so? Let us see. We can read it once again silently. Then you will get it. You don't forget to note the important words to enter to your personal dictionary. Shall we read? Okay. can complete reading. Now, let us try to answer some more questions. What was the banyan tree a setting for? It was a setting for what we were to call the strange case of grey squirrel and the white rat. Whose was the white rat? It was grandfather's. Where had he bought it from? From the bazaar for 4 annas. Where would the boy take it with him? He took it with him to the roots and branches of the old tree, that banyan tree. What did he do there? The white rat do there? It became a friend of one of the squirrels, and they would start going and they would live together on little excursions among the branches. What the squirrel started building a nest. How did the boy know that? When he changed his clothes, he would find straw and grass falling out. What was missing one day? Grandmother's knitting. Could he find it or they find them soon? No. Only next day they found it. Where was it? It was in the nest of that squirrel. What did he see other than that needle in the nest? There were 3 white baby squirrels. Grandfather and the boy gazed at him, wondered why they had never seen white squirrels. And when did Grandpa try to respond to this mystery? When the boy mentioned the frequent visits of the white rat there, Grandpa told him that the rat must be its father, their father. He explained, rats and squirrels were related to each other, and so it was quite possible for them to have children. Here it is white squirrels. Now I think it is very simple. Yes, you followed. We can answer the scaffolding questions. Who was the new friend of the squirrel? You know, it was simple. A white rat. How did they enjoy their friendship? They left on tours or excursions, little excursions along the branches. And the boy come to know that the squirrel was building nest. You know, there were grass and straw in his clothes when he changed. There were the straw and the grass were falling when he knew it. What was the wonder that the nature had kept for them in the nest? 3 white baby squirrels. Okay, the answer, some answers are there. You have to verify it. Now let us discuss the story in detail. See the words that you might have written: setting, time and place of something, annas, old currency in British India, and 16 annas constitutes a rupee. And struck up, that means start relationship, go off, here, to leave. Strange case of grey squirrel and the white rat, that is funnily he says so, and that may be, there may be an allusion to this book that is by Stevenson, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Such a book is there. Sometimes that may be a reference to that. And then let us discuss it in detail. Banyan tree was also the setting for what we were to call the strange case of grey squirrel and the white rat. The banyan tree is the place where let's sustain the case of the grey squirrel and the white rat happened or took place. The white rat was grandfather's. The white rat was grandfather's, or the grandfather owned the white rat. He had brought it from the bazaar for 4 annas. And the boy would often take the white rat with him into the tree. And in a banyan tree, the white rat began a friendship with one of the squirrel, and they would live together on little excursions among the branches of the banyan tree. I think very simple, yes? Followed. Now, next paragraph, see the word stalk, a dried stalk of cereal plant. Cereal plant means grass type plants like rice, wheat, like plants are pulse-bearer plants. In Malayalam, that is vaikol, kachi. Knitting, material that has been or being knitted, hunt to search here, tarega, glint, flash briefly, prakashikka, investigate, examine, steel knitting needle. You can see that cram means stuff, kutyamarthana stuff, right? Okay, this is a needle, Now, we can discuss it. Then the squirrel started building a nest. It began to build a nest, and at first she tried to build it in the boy's pocket. He wanted to build a nest in the boy's pocket, and when he went in the house and he changed his clothes, he could find straw and grass falling out from his clothes. One day, grandmother's knitting was lost, or it was missing. They searched it very well, but it was without success. They couldn't find it. The next day, he saw something flashing or shining in the hole in the banyan tree. He went up to examine it, and he found it was the end of grandmother's steel knitting needle. When he looked more, he could find the hole was stuffed with that knitting, the wool, and amongst the wool were 3 baby squirrels. All of them were white. He saw 3 white baby squirrels. He was really shocked, or he was startled. He was astonished and by seeing that, because that was not quite usual. Now we can move to the next passage. The words puzzled, confused, mentioned to make a short reference, paramarshikkuka, frequent, often, offspring, children, makkal, relate, be a relative of. Here it means be a relative of. See, grandfather had never seen white squirrels before. Grandfather is very old, still he hadn't seen white squirrels. So they gazed, they fixed a look at them in wonder. Wonderfully they looked at them, and they were confused for some time. But when I mentioned that white rats frequent visit, when the boy told grandfather the white rat would visit the banyan tree frequently, grandfather explained that the rat must be the baby squirrel's father. And he explained rat and squirrels were relatives. They can be related each other. They are related to each other, and so it was quite possible for them to have children. In this case, white squirrels. Hope you have enjoyed this funny incident or funny episode. Now the main ideas: the boy used to take a white rat to the tree. His grandfather had brought it from the bazaar for 4 annas. The white rat made friendship with one of the squirrels, and they would go off together on little excursions among the branches. One day he saw a squirrel busy with his nest. He had even stolen his grandfather's knitting. It had stuffed its nest with the knitting. After a few weeks, he saw 3 white baby squirrels in the nest. His grandfather came up, and they were marveled at the little white squirrels. Grandfather told him that the white rats and squirrels were closely related to each other and it was possible to have offspring in this way. Okay, now I think the whole story is clear to one and all. Now let us move on to some activity. Activity 1. Revisit the story and complete the story tree. Very simple, yes. Characters, you have to write the characters here with a brief description of each of them. An example is given here, you can see. Example is here. You have to do it and after that you can compare it with the answers along with it in the notes. It is very simple and there is no need of discussing it. Who are the characters and a very brief description can be written and next the main events should be written. That can be written. One is given for you. There are two more main events, you know that. And the setting, that where and when it took place, it is there. You have to write it simply. You can do that, I am sure, and you can compare the answers with the one in the notes. Now another activity, activity 5. And among the wool were 3 baby squirrels, all of them white. The boy couldn't stop wondering about the white squirrels. If he scribbled down his unforgettable sight in his diary, how would it be? What's the task here? Yes, to write a diary. What is the diary about? The wonderful sight of white baby squirrels. Then you know how to write a diary. When you write the diary, you have to follow these steps. First, recall the story, the characters and the contacts. Fix the important events of the day. What are the important days, important events of the day? That is the meeting was missing and he searched for it and he found it in the squirrel's nest, and the most important event is he noticed 3 white baby squirrels there, and express the feelings and thought of the characters and the writer. Shall we do it? And organize the ideas and the content well. Now see, how can be a diary? Diary can be written, but it is optional, not a must. Date and day, that's a must, you must write it. Time, that's 2, can be written, not a must. And content, it is very important. It has 3 parts. First, a good opening could be there. As you know, just like today is an unforgettable day. How can I forget this day, or how can I express my feelings of the day? Oh God, what strange happenings have you given in my life? Just like that, you may have a good opening, a red letter day for me. Just you can have any of fine opening, and we will discuss diary and discourses in detail. Then we can see more and more such expressions. Now the next one is the important events of the day with the feelings and thoughts of the writer. That should be the important events along with the feelings and the thoughts. Very clear, yes. And I think just like I will give you an example. That is, I found 3 white baby squirrels there. I couldn't believe it. Oh God, what I see here, what I can see here. Just like that, you can write. And the last one is an ending. That can be a decision of prayer or a hope, right? And last, you may write the name. This is the format of a diary. I think it is very simple. You have to follow this format, and with these discussions, you have to write the diary, and the answer is a sample diary is given there in the notes. You can compare it with that. Okay. Now, hope you have learned what we have discussed. Now the story is over. And thank you for watching. Notes and expressions are there. You have to see it and compare it. Thank you all. Meet you again. Till then, goodbye.